What's good, everyone? Sideshow MMA here, and today I'll be breaking down UFC Fight Night 251. So yeah, let's get into it. Starting with the first fight, Jacqueline Cavalcante versus Julia Avila. Man, honestly, just not much to say about this one. I'm trying to go through this one pretty quickly. Cavalcante's last two fights were split decisions. I think she's good enough to beat Julia Avila. She hasn't fought since like 2023. And in that fight, she lost to Miesha Tate by sub. No reason to pick Julia Avila in this one. Who cares? So Cavalcante I'm going with. Moving up the card, Walter Walker versus Don'Tale Mayes. Actually noticed a bit of a trend here in Don'Tale Mayes' career while researching for this fight. So his record since his fight with Augusto Sakai reads a loss to Sakai, win versus Arlovsky, loss to Rodrigo Nascimento, win versus Kyle Machado, lost to obviously to the GOAT Shamil Gaziev. And yeah, so if this is making sense, he should win this fight. But I'm not gonna pick him. I think Walter Walker will probably ground and pound finish him. Don'Tale Mayes probably retires in the cage. You know, he's getting up there in age. Simply just not that good. Never really was. A bit of an easy pick for me. I think Walter Walker gets it done. Moving on, Elijah Smith versus Vince Morales. Going Elijah Smith, super fun, technical striker. A lot of heat in his hands as well. Really talented. He's 22 years old, which is insane for him to be that good at that age. He had a really nice KO over Josh Walker in Fury FC. Yeah, I think he's got a bright future for the sport for sure. Super good. He's in a very competitive division, 135. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. But 22 years old, I think he's only going to improve from here. Yeah, but Vince Morales is decent. I don't love the loss to Taylor Lapulus. Morales did just kind of get walked down and honestly just beat the shit out of him. So yeah, he didn't look great in that one. I like the style matchup for Elijah Smith also. I think it'll be a fun fight, and I think, you know, Elijah Smith, he could get him out of there. But I'm leaning towards a decision in this one. But moving on up the card, Gabriel Bonfim versus Chaos Williams. I'm actually going to go Chaos Williams in this one. I don't think Bonfim is very good, honestly. He's a good striker, better grappler. Man, I really do like his win over Trey Waters, because I think Waters is a really good prospect if he can develop his style a little bit more. I think he's really talented, like range management wise, but he needs to develop a little more as a fighter. But yeah, I rate that win a lot over Waters. Yeah, I just have a feeling Chaos Williams will catch him in this one. You know, bit of a risky pick here, in all honesty. I like Williams. I think Bonfim's just catchable. We saw Nicholas Dalby catch him and put him away. I think Williams is a good pick here. He's probably an underdog too, so good value in that. Yeah, I don't see the grappling playing much of a factor either with Bonfim. So yeah, I'm going Chaos Williams. Probably by KO. I think if it goes the distance, Bonfim probably wins it, or maybe Williams wins it on moments. But I'm seeing a KO for Chaos Williams. But moving on, Rafael Estevam versus Jesus Aguilar. I like Estevam in this one. I think he's the better fighter. Really good win over Charles Johnson, and that win has aged super well for him. Yeah, I think Jesus Aguilar will get controlled, beat up on the ground a bit. I don't think Aguilar is very good. He KO'd Shannon Ross, but who hasn't at this point? And yeah, he got destroyed on the ground, subbed by Tatsuro Taira. I can see a similar thing happening, but instead of a sub, I think he'll just get beat up on the ground. We saw Estevam do this on the Contender Series. Neutralized Duty fought on the ground, quite literally beat the shit out of him. And I could definitely see a similar thing happening here with Jesus Aguilar, whose grappling doesn't seem to be all that developed. So yeah, gonna go Rafael Estevam in this one. Moving up the card, Ketlin Souza versus Angela Hill. Damn, I'm not restarting this. I'm going Caitlin Souza over Angela Hill. Hill's 40 years old. Yeah. So, all right, moving up the card, Jose Delgado versus Connor Matthews. I think Delgado chins Matthews in this one, honestly. He's the longer, rangier guy. Connor Matthews, I don't think is very good. Took an L to Dennis Bazooka. Bazooka's been on a bit of a skid recently. I think he lost 2, won 1, and then lost again. Yeah, so that's a tough loss for me to see. And then, you're coming into a fight against Jose Delgado, who's a good striker, talented. I don't think so. I just think he'll probably catch Matthews round 2. I can honestly see a TKO for Delgado in that one. So yeah, I just think Delgado with the striking. Matthews on the Contender Series was getting pieced up before the finish. Man, I just don't like this one for Connor Matthews. I think Jose Delgado just probably fucks him up. Moving up the card though, Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Petroski. Close fight, to be honest. Both these guys are not very good at fighting, and the fact this is on a main card in a fight night in 2025 is beyond me. Yeah, count on this one being, pretty boring decision. Go get food, go to the bathroom. This, not gonna miss much. But like not just trying to hate on them though. Like I do have to make a pick here. I'm gonna go Petroski, I guess, being the younger guy. I don't think Rodolfo Vieira is very good. I think he'll be able to control Vieira throughout the fight, accumulate more damage as the rounds go on. Probably win by decision for Petroski. So yeah, going with Andre Petroski in this one. Moving on though, Ismail Bonfim versus Nazim Sajikov. I'm going Nazim Sajikov for sure over Ismail Bonfim. Super fun fight, for sure. Sajikov's a really good prospect. He's got heat in his hands, super composed. I can see him catching Bonfim as the fight progresses, honestly. Maybe Bonfim realizes he's down 2 rounds, starts to get a little wild, and then Sajikov catches him. Yeah, I think both Bonfim brothers probably take L's on this night, so that would suck for them, but I don't really care. Get better. But yeah, shout out Ismail Bonfim for destroying McKinney, though. Yeah, fuck Terrence McKinney. But yeah, no, unfortunately, I'm picking him to lose to Nazim Sajikov. Sajikov's nice. He's a really good fighter. Fun style to watch. Excited for him. He's a really good prospect. Super excited for his future in the sport. Moving up the card, Edmund Shabazian versus Dylan Budka. Wow, this is a fight for sure. I'll go Shabazian. Budka is terrible at the sport. Yeah, Shabazian probably trains. Budka, I'm not sure. So I'm going to go Shabazian for sure. Calvin Kattar versus Yusuf Zalal. Man, this is a tough one. Calvin Kattar is one of my favorite fighters. Love his fights. Man, he beat Josh Emmett. I'm going to just like to get it out there. I know it's not a hot take, really. That's a lot of people agree with that. But yeah, he beat Josh Emmett. Had that knee injury against Arnold Allen, but before that, Allen was catching Kattar. I was really rooting for Kattar in that one. I didn't pick him to win, but yeah, and Allen was fucking him up before the ACL tear or whatever took place there. Kattar hasn't quite looked the same since the injury. He looked so bad against Sterling. I was really disappointed in that one. And yeah, I don't know. I could see Kattar doing well in the beginning, getting his jab going, popping Zalal a bit. But, as Zalal, maybe Kattar wins the first round, let's say. But, as Zalal gets more comfortable on the feet and stuff, using his head movement, getting more comfortable with the range, I think eventually he'll start popping Kattar. Eventually start getting his takedowns going, landing the more effective shots. It's tough for me to pick against Kattar because I do like him as a fighter a lot, but I don't know. I think that injury might have really done something to his ability to defend takedowns, because he had nasty takedown defense. Then the Aljo fight happens and it's just nothing. He just looks gun shy the whole time. Didn't look good in that fight at all. Yeah, I'm not super high on Zalal as a fighter. I think his ceiling is probably like a top 5 contender, like in that range, top 10, top 5. Um, and yeah, but I do think he'll beat Cater. I think the UFC probably wants him to beat Cater, so there can be like better matchups at the top of the division. Yeah, I'm going Yusuf Zalal to get a decision over Calvin Cater. Unfortunately, hopefully Cater fucking sleeps him, but I doubt it. But moving on to the main event, Gregory Rodrigues versus Jerry Cannonier. It's a fun fight, dude. I'm gonna go Gregory Rodrigues to beat Cannonier, but it's super competitive. This is a really close fight. Cannonier's not washed by any means. Um, I really think this is a close fight. It's really hard to pick. I was pretty back and forth on this one. Um, but yeah, I think Rodrigues will win the fight on moments. And I know that's probably not the best method to pick him. Like the best method to pick a fight off is like who will have the bigger moments. But it's damage-based scoring. I can see Cannonier maybe outboxing him for majority of the fight. He has a reach advantage over Rodrigues despite being the shorter guy. I think he'll utilize that well. But I think Rodrigues will have the bigger moments, like I said. I think he'll hurt Cannonier, jelly leg him, maybe even drop him a few times. I think Cannonier has the technical advantage for sure. Definitely the more aesthetically pleasing fighter. But Rodrigues is powerful. We've seen him put guys out. You know, we've seen Cannonier hurt badly too recently by Baralio. You know, he's not exactly a big power puncher to the extent Rodrigues is for sure. So yeah, say what you want about the stoppage, but Mavov hurt him too, bad. And he's not really known for being a power puncher either. I know he just fucking slept out Asanya. But dude, that's a perfectly flush right hand. Anyone would have gone out by that. Anyone could have landed that. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Mavov has no power, but he's not a power puncher to the extent Rodrigues is for sure. And yeah, so that's just the point I was trying to make there. And yeah. One thing I am worried about as someone picking Rodrigues is the low kicks of Cannonier. In Rodrigues' fight, he stands quite square. And I do think Cannonier will probably take advantage of that in this fight, get that going, mix in the boxing. But I just think Rodrigues will have the bigger moments. I think he'll hurt Cannonier. Yeah, and especially if Cannonier does get those leg kicks going as the rounds progress for 5 rounds, I think that'll take a toll on Rodrigues. But I think that will play a factor to a certain extent. But I just think Rodrigues will get the job done. Cannonier, I know this probably shouldn't factor in too much, but he is 41, and he still fights at a super high level, but he's 41, so like soon to be 41. He's 40, but he'll be 41 in like 2 months. So come on, I think Rodrigues gets it done by decision, on moments, dropping Cannonier, hurting him, and yeah, that's what I'm going with for the main event. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, subscribe. You know, it's my first video actually. So yeah. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.